Alrighty then. It's Wednesday. I think this is going to be the traditional day that you guys will see me do streams on this channel, unless something else changes. I think this will be more of the norm, more of the tradition, because it seems like Wednesday seems like a good day for me to do all these streams. Seems like a good time for me to do it. One of the few days I have off from both school and work and everything like that. And plus, I got other stuff that I have to do Wednesday. That's pretty important, but I got pushed back until a little bit later today, which is kind of a bummer because I have other stuff that I want to do today, but it is what it is. But what is up, guys? Chase Oliver here, bringing you another live stream to the channel. And today we are going to be talking about the crazy world of professional wrestling. As you guys know, that's what my channel is mostly about. If you're an NFL fan, wait until Thursday or Friday. I might be doing an NFL stream at that time. But if you're a pro wrestling fan, stay tuned for the fun that we're going to be talking about of the world of professional wrestling. Now, as you guys know, this past Monday was my birthday, Monday, January 16th. If this is being recorded on the 18th of January, this past Monday was my birthday. And so I was very pleasantly surprised that on my birthday that I got to see that Kurt Angle, one of my favorite wrestlers ever, Kurt Angle, was going to be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame of 2017. This came out of nowhere, man. Like, you know, like there was those reports that were coming out, you know, that Kurt Angle was not accepting independent dates past like a certain time, like around February and stuff like that. So it kind of hinted that Kurt may be making like a WWE in-ring return, that WWE and Kurt Angle reached some type of deal. But then it just turns out Kurt Angle, he's just going to be doing the Hall of Fame. Like from what I understand, from what I know, and from all the interviews that he's given, that this is not going to be some in-ring return. This is just him going into the Hall of Fame, him being accepted into the Hall of Fame. And really, to be honest here, when you look at a wrestler like Kurt Angle, Hall of Famer right there. That is like a definition of a Hall of Famer, of a professional wrestler. Kurt Angle, by far, is one of the best performers in not just WWE history, but in wrestling history. That's just how good Kurt Angle is. You know, sometimes I always feel like fans have lowered their standards on what they think a great performer is and what they think overall is good. And I think sometimes some people look at goofy and funny and they think that's way too good, or they think, you know, someone with a great in-ring skill set, that's way too good. And really, to be honest here, when I think of good and great wrestlers of like all time and stuff, but that Kurt Angle pops into my head. Kurt Angle can wrestle with anyone and have a good match with them. It's rare where you walk away and you say to yourself, that was a bad Kurt Angle match. It's really rare. And sometimes it just amazes me when some wrestling fans are just in awe with all these independent guys that they always talk about. And I'm just like, did you guys ever watch Kurt Angle? Did y'all ever watch Shawn Michaels? Like, that's the thing. Like, sometimes I just don't understand if these people have never seen Kurt Angle wrestle, because Kurt Angle, goddamn, this guy was fucking good at his job. Kurt Angle was so damn good at what he did. And it's not just his WWE career. I mean, because you look at his first year in the WWE, if WWE did like a Rookie of the Year award, oh, Kurt Angle would be like unanimous Rookie of the Year. And then later on, when you look at, you know, what he did later on in the WWE, you know, he was part of the SmackDown 6 that helped WWE SmackDown once the first original brand split happened, overtake Raw. He helped Brock Lesnar in his career, putting on so many tremendous matches with Brock Lesnar and having a great rivalry with Brock Lesnar. You can even argue he helped John Cena's career when he was like feuding with Cena as Cena was making his way up to the main event. You know, Kurt Angle was like just such a good piece. Like, he could just fit anywhere that you wanted to put him in a WWE storyline, and it did well. You know, it was normally a pretty decent storyline, minus that Booker T crap and him fighting against Eugene for his Olympic gold medal. But you also look at his career in like TNA. And really, to be honest here, it's kind of a shame that WWE doesn't have like the TNA rights to like anything TNA. This is like one of those moments I wish they did, because if you really want to look at it, Kurt Angle, he only had 6 years in the WWE. Like, people like to think that Kurt Angle was some like WWE original, like, you know, he is a WWE original product and stuff like that. But if you look at Kurt Angle's whole career as a whole, he was in TNA much longer than he was in WWE. He was in TNA for 8 years. 8 years Kurt Angle wrestled in TNA. He only wrestled 6.5 with WWE. Like, he left WWE back in like 2006, and then he was with TNA from 06 to like 2014, 15-ish. I mean, Kurt Angle is more of like a TNA wrestler than he is a WWE wrestler. So it's kind of a shame that, you know, some of his TNA accolades are not really going to be there, because I don't know if you guys remember the day like Kurt Angle debuted in TNA. That was crazy. That was one of the most insane things ever, dude. Like, not Genesis, but the pay-per-view beforehand, you know, they announced that Kurt Angle was coming. Oh my God. You want to talk about buzz. You know, everyone likes to talk about some buzz that Broken Matt Hardy brings to the table. No. Kurt Angle going to TNA was like a huge buzz. Like, even like casual mainstream type of shit was talking about this, because they couldn't believe that a guy like Kurt Angle was going to a place called TNA. Like, people like to talk about moving the needle. Kurt Angle was moving the needle for TNA at one point. Fans were really excited. Like, I remember this was getting reported that Kurt Angle was signed to TNA. I couldn't believe it. This was huge news, because Kurt Angle was known as this Olympic gold medalist. He's coming off this surprising release from the WWE, and then all of a sudden, you know, he's going to TNA, and he had a really good run in TNA. A really good run. Sure, some of the stuff was really stupid. I felt the main event Mafia was stupid near the end of it. I felt the Kurt Angle Redemption Tour was really stupid, where he said no to his Hall of Fame, and he's like, I gotta redeem myself. I thought the stuff with AJ Styles, for most part, was sometimes stupid. Hell, the stuff with Jeff Jarrett, oh God, that was stupid in its own right. But when it came down to it, Kurt Angle still had a really good TNA run, and sometimes it's a shame that you know a lot of wrestling fans just know him for his WWE time. You gotta remember, Kurt Angle, like, to me, when you go into the WWE Hall of Fame, it's not just for what you did in the WWE, it's what you do for professional wrestling. I think people sometimes look at the WWE logo and the WWE name so much, and they don't realize that, hey, this whole thing is about wrestling, about what you did as a pro wrestler. WWE is just sponsoring it. WWE is just sponsoring the Hall of Fame. You got to look at what the wrestler did. You got to look at what the performer and the talent did to be considered a Hall of Famer. And then you look at Kurt Angle's 6-year run in WWE, his 8-year run in TNA. This guy's a Hall of Famer. This guy is definitely a Hall of Famer. You can't tell me how many bad matches Kurt Angle's had, because it's hard to count. He's put on good matches with almost everyone. He was an entertainer. Like, Kurt Angle is one of the few people that can actually be entertainer and be serious at the same time. He was like an overall performer. And it wasn't like Kurt Angle's side. He's considered a vanilla midget. Like, you know, a lot of people don't realize this. Benoit was taller than Kurt Angle. Benoit was like way bigger than Kurt Angle and stuff like that. But Kurt Angle was legit because he won an Olympic gold medal. And he was able to transition that amateur style into a, like, what's it called? Look like a shoot, look realistic. So it didn't look fake as fuck. So Kurt Angle going to the WWE Hall of Fame, I agree with this. This is awesome. One of the best professional wrestlers ever. And for all you guys that think that this guy on the independents is better or that guy knows, shut the fuck up. You want to talk about good wrestlers? Don't give me your Kenny Omega crap. I'm a big fan of Okada, but don't even give me that Okada crap. Don't give me this Leo Epstein or Prince Puma shit. It's Kurt Angle. You cannot compare wrestlers today to a guy like Kurt Angle in his prime. And that's just a fact. There's some wrestlers that are close, like AJ Styles. But there's no way you're going to convince me that any wrestler today, and even your Zack Sabre Jr., there's no way you can fucking convince me that these guys are better than Kurt Angle in his prime ever was. If you guys are lowering your standards, please stop. Get the network. I'm pretty sure it's free this month, like it is every other fucking month. And watch some old Kurt Angle matches. And then please try to tell me how any of your little indie darlings are better than Kurt Angle ever was. Because none of them aren't. Kurt Angle is one of the top performers you'll ever see in the ring. Ever. Ever. Oh yeah, Stinger was also a TNA Hall of Famer as well. Stinger's a TNA Hall of Famer, made into the WWE Hall of Fame. I forgot about that. Yeah, Kurt Angle also TNA Hall of Famer. Does Kurt Angle count? I thought he said no to his TNA Hall of Fame, but okay. Oh yeah, Brian. Yeah, Kurt Angle would be a UFC fighter for sure. Definitely be a UFC fighter. Speaking of UFC, BJ Penn. Oh shit, Yair Rodriguez just and Little Pettis is actually looking really fucking good. Little Sergio, the Phenom, he's been looking pretty fucking good too. Speaking of UFC, because I know Brian Velez is more of a MMA fan. He just supports me, even though he doesn't really, I don't think really watches professional wrestling. I don't know. I think he does, but I don't think he's like the biggest wrestling fan. Or I don't think he watches the current pro wrestling landscape. Maybe he does. I don't know. Did you know the network gives out free 3-month subscriptions to the newbies? The fuck? 3 months, Draven G, really? So the network is just giving out 3 months of like content? That's so stupid. Like, why don't I even pay? Why don't I just make a fake account, get 3 months for free? God, that's terrible. Where's my free month? I've been a loyal subscriber since that shit first started. Back in like 2014. It's been 3 years almost, right? 3 years, and the network really hasn't done much. Let's be real here. The network really hasn't done much in 3 years. Okay, but Brian Velez, I didn't think BJ Penn would get fucked up that bad. I thought it would be at least like a boring close fight. I didn't think Yair Rodriguez was going to do like spinning heel kicks into the fucking face of BJ. I was like, God damn, BJ Penn. BJPenn.com. Yeah, no, that's ridiculous. But speaking of the network, the WWE UK Tourney, that actually happened this past weekend. I didn't even know that. Like, it was so funny. I was seeing like all these like people who I follow on Twitter just talk about wrestling and everything like that. Like, that's all they live for is like wrestling. They're like, oh yeah, wrestling. Ah. I just don't understand. I don't get how people just live and breathe professional wrestling. Like, I need a break from this shit every once in a while. So like, I heard the UK tournament was actually happening, and I could not believe it. I was just like, what the fuck? Like, I was like, what the fuck? Like seriously, like they're actually doing the UK tournament this weekend? And I was hearing all these people, man, and like I was reading all the comments, and it was funny. WWE actually did a poll. So like, let me see if I can find a picture of this shit. WWE did a poll asking about the UK tournament, okay? Like, I'm gonna find this poll. It was so hilarious if you saw it. Like, if you saw like the poll, like, oh my god, it was like it was so funny. Like, it was like embarrassing too. It was so embarrassing. I'm trying to find this. It was like they asked like if people watched the UK tournament, right? They asked if people watched it. And like they gave like the option, did not watch. Like they're like, what was your favorite match from the WWE UK tournament? And people could vote, and they literally said did not watch. And like the poll results showed like 1,000 people did not watch the UK tournament. Like 1,000 people were not watching this UK tournament. Like really, that's what they said. They literally said like fans were voting that they did not watch this fucking tournament. And I was reading the comments, and all I read in the comments was like these angry Europeans, like these angry Brits, like, oh, you Americans would never understand the product that we produce. You Americans just don't understand wrestling. Oh, fucking Americans don't understand. And I'm just like sitting there, and I always get like, I don't know what it is with UK people, especially those who like love professional wrestling. Those fuckers always piss me off. Like, because, like, I don't know what you understand about professional wrestling. And I can turn the table, too, and say the exact same shit you are, motherfucker. I don't know why in the blue hell you guys are saying, I don't understand. You got Americans don't understand our style of wrestling. Good. I don't want to understand your style of wrestling. Your style of wrestling seems pretty dumb if you ask me. Your style of wrestling is pretty much just copying amateur wrestling. Just saying. So I'm glad I don't understand your style. I'm glad I don't understand this shit. Because I don't want to. I don't need to. But really, to be honest here, I thought WWE did a poor job promoting this. You would think that maybe you would save the UK tournament for February, right? No. Just randomly have it in January with no hype, no promotion whatsoever during the divisional round of the NFL playoffs. Yeah, I think I'm going to go watch two random indie fucks that I don't even know. And no, this is not against British or anything like that. I don't know these fucks. Don't expect me to fucking waste my time because my life does not revolve around professional wrestling. Like, seriously, it's like, well, you have a network account, so why don't you watch it? Dude, I also have a Netflix account. You think I'm watching every original Netflix show that they're producing? No. So why should I watch every original shit that WWE Network produces? I am not going to watch Story Time. I am not going to watch, like, fucking Camp WWF. I'm not going to watch all this shit. I have better things to do than just watch professional wrestling all my time. I don't know how you fucks do it. You guys are fucking insane by watching wrestling all the fucking time. I have UFC Fight Pass too. You think I'm fucking sitting there like, oh, I gotta watch all the Fight Pass No! I'm not wasting my time watching fucking UFC Fight Pass fights. It's a waste of my fucking time. It's a waste of your time too. So I don't know these fucks. I'm a fan of the NFL. The divisional matchups were all rematches from this season that were actually, some of them were actually good games. Yeah, I'm gonna watch the divisional round of the playoffs, then watch these two fucking pale people fucking wrestle in front of a crowd that tries to get themselves over instead of the actual talent. And that's all the UK crowd does. Like, the UK, yeah, it's a great area, it's a great environment, but most recently, all these UK fans care about is getting themselves over. They don't give a fuck about the performers or the talent. All they like to do is get themselves over with their little chants, their little creative chants, and they like to say, we made that chant. We're the ones who did that chant. You Americans are stealing our chant. That's our chant. We started that trend, not you. We did. We are over, not you guys. We are. Fuck the performers. Fuck what they do, because our chants matter the most. We're what's most important. Tell me I'm not wrong. Please tell me I'm not wrong, because really, to be honest, here it seems like they just say shit just so that way they can get fucking over. Doesn't seem like they help the performers any. How many UK supported people that they've been behind? How many of those guys really got over? Gable, Jordan. Not like Chad Gable and Jason Jordan are getting pushed to the moon. We want some Bayley. Bayley's not getting pushed to the moon. Just saying. When it comes to the UK crowd, it's more about them than the actual people in the fucking ring. Well, we're just trying to have fun, Chase. Don't you Americans know what fun is? Yeah, we know what fun is. But I'm just saying, from what I watch and from what I see, it just seems like you guys want to get yourselves over and not really the performers inside the ring. That to me, that's what I see. But seriously. Just saying, man. Just saying. That's how it is. Try to watch this UK tournament, and it was like a lame version of the Cruiserweight Classic. It literally was. It was pretty. I don't know why didn't they just call this Cruiserweight Classic Part 2. Most of these fucks were cruiserweights. Like there was like some big dudes, but the rest of them were all cruiserweights. This was literally Cruiserweight Classic Part 2. With some of the matches, like were enjoyable from an in-ring perspective. But you guys should know, I'm not like an in-ring guy. And I think sometimes some people, when they come to this channel and they don't realize, and they realize that, they kind of get a little bit upset. They're like, oh, like they get mad. Like, why? Sorry that I don't fucking jack off to in-ring perspective. Like, if you guys want someone to analyze in-ring shit, go fucking watch Bruce Blitz. Bruce Blitz will tell you every fucking move under the fucking moon. You gotta want to go watch someone analyze fucking a rest hold and how long and how tight it was. Go watch Bruce Blitz. Yeah, I know he has more subs than me and more followers and everything like that, but that's because Bruce Blitz just hates on John Cena, and so everyone like fucking follows him, and he got popular because of that shit. Sir Bruce Blitz, if you ever heard that, he will argue with me and say otherwise, but it's true. That's the only reason why Bruce Blitz really has a following is because he hates on John Cena and he says all this fucking shit and blah, 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 blah. Just like how the Lex Man got fucking over is because the Lex Man like praised and sucked the dick of Daniel Bryan. It's true. That's how some of these guys got over. That's how some of these guys got their subs. Well, the Lex Man actually had his hand held by WWE because he used to work for them, but that's another story for another time. Dan Bones, Bruce does. Bruce does. Bruce breaks down every fucking match, dude. Bruce does, man. He breaks down every fucking match, dude. He puts down every he freaking breaks down every match, man. I remember watching a review of his one time. I was like, I can't. He breaks down every match from fucking move to move. I'm telling you, man. I'm just telling you how he does it. Don't expect me to analytically freaking break down every move, especially when it comes to a Cena match, Dan Bones. You know Bruce Blitz is breaking down every fucking move just so that way he can prove Cena is not a good wrestler. Like, you know that, Dan Bones. You know that, Dan Bones, that Bruce Blitz will freaking pretty much like break down every Cena match so that way he can prove Cena sucks dick. Bruce Blitz ain't a bad channel. He's good. He's good at what he does. But I'm just saying that's what he does. I'm not wrong in this situation. I analyze, like, trust me, there's shit that I do wrong on this channel. No doubt about it. But I'll be the first one to admit it. Most other YouTubers, they don't want to admit it. Most of the time with people that do YouTube videos, it's just a gimmick. Like, literally, it's just gimmicks, dude. Like, sometimes, like, some of these people who have other wrestling channels too, man, they literally, like, live in the wrestling world. They really think they're fucking pro wrestlers, and they have gimmicks and personalities. It's like fucking, it's weird. And they have to live by that gimmick. They can't leave that gimmick, because if they leave that gimmick, it's like, oh, no, this is the end of the world. I'm Chase Oliver. I don't give a fuck about no gimmick. My name's not some, like, goofy-ass name. It's just Chase Oliver. Used to have a 68 at the end of it, but that's it. But yeah, when it came to the UK tournament, yeah, there was some good in-ring fucking matches. But other than that, yeah. Who cares? They're all cruiserweights, just fucking doing cruiserweight shit with some technical wrestling. And then we got, like, the UK belt. Like, I'm sorry, the UK belt looks nicer than the Universal Championship. Like, that UK belt looks more prestigious than that WWE Universal Championship, man. Like, that Universal Championship looks like shit, man. That it looks like a custom Eva Marie title. Instead, like, they fucking have the UK title, and that looks nice as fuck. That don't look like no mid-card, whatever the hell, championship. Like, why do they have to have a championship? Why can't they just get a trophy? Like, seriously, like, why did they need a fucking championship? Why do they need a champ? I seriously don't understand why they need an actual championship. The championship looks way too fucking nice. Like, that was the one thing I couldn't understand. Like, I swear to God, like, I'm being dead honest with you. I didn't even watch the press conference that Triple H did, so I didn't even know that they were going to have a belt for this thing. I did not even know that shit. And so then later on, when I saw that Tyler Bates kid, who's 19 years old, win it, I saw him, and he gets a belt. And I was like, that belt is nice. Why is that motherfucker getting a belt? Why is that dude getting a fucking belt? And why is that belt so much nicer than the Universal Championship? You know, our champion, Kevin Owens, could actually use a belt that looks that nice. Like, seriously, I couldn't believe how nice this belt looked. And it looked like a world championship, too. It looked like a world championship. It didn't look like some jobber fucking shit. Like the Cruiserweight title, that looks like so jobberish compared to this one. And the Cruiserweight Championship is going to be on Raw. Like, the Cruiserweight Championship is going to be on the main show. You know what I'm saying? This belt right here, let me show you this. Let me get the screen share going on this one right here, so that way you guys can see what I'm talking about. Look at this right here. Look at this belt. I don't know if you guys have seen this belt. Look at this fucking belt. This belt looks nice as fuck. That looks like a Universal Championship belt. That looks like a good belt. I mean, maybe make the WWE logo a little bit bigger in the middle. But other than that, this belt looks nice. This looks like a world title. And this is for a 2-day tournament. They put this much effort in a belt for a 2-day freaking tournament. And we don't even know if this guy is even going to be on Raw or SmackDown. But even if it's on SmackDown, you know how much confusion that's going to be because this looks so much like the WWE title. This belt looks nicer than most of the belts they have. I mean, this belt literally looks nicer. I mean, when you look at the Universal Championship, which one looks nicer? So it's like freaking Universal. Let me type this shit up. Universal Championship. Like, I misspelled Universal. Don't matter. The belt's shitty. Look at this shit. You look at the Universal title. Go back to the UK Championship. UK Championship. That looks like a fucking world title. This right here looks like Eva Marie's custom WWE Women's Championship. In fact, it's so much of a joke. Look at this. It's like the Universal Championship right here, man. Like, it's all red. It looks goopy as hell, man. Like, seriously, this does not look like a title. This looks so goopy. Like, someone like spilled hot Cheetos on this shit, man. Look, like this dude's custom design is better than this shit right here, man. This belt right here sucks. See, that belt right there look nice as fuck, right? And this was for a 2-day tournament. A 2-day tournament where we don't know if we're going to see this goof ever again. We don't know if we're going to see Tyler Bate. And look how big that belt is. Look at how big that belt is. Like, compared to, like, you know, that belt's pretty big. That's like a huge belt. That ain't no small fucking belt. Like, if you compare that to the Cruiserweight Championship, like, let's go look at the Cruiserweight Championship real quick. The new Cruiserweight Championship. That belt's small as hell. The Cruiserweight Championship, look at that. This is Triple H holding the Cruiserweight Championship. See, that's like a belt I would expect for like a tournament. This belt right here, this Cruiserweight title that the game himself is holding, Triple H. This belt right here, this is featured on Monday Night Raw, 205 Live, and SmackDown Live. With all this live crap. Live even right here. This belt right here is featured on main TV. This is the belt. This is the effort that they put in for a belt that they were going to put on main TV. And this is the effort they put in for a belt that we don't even know if we're going to ever see again. Like, literally, they put in more effort in the UK Championship than their actual Cruiserweight Championship. And we see this stupid shit every week. Can you believe that? Can you believe that? I mean, that's serious. Can you guys believe this shit? Like, seriously, like, that's how much effort WWE put into this tournament, and I don't think they got any payoff out of it. I really don't think they got any payoff out of this tournament. Because it's just like, who ultimately benefited from it? Maybe the independent guys, yeah. But I don't think WWE benefited from this. That's why sometimes I worry when, like, don't get me wrong, I love me Triple H. But that's why I kind of sometimes worry when people say, oh, Triple H will run the business better. Yeah, are you sure about that? You want to kind of take a step back from the Triple H hype train for a little bit. You want to relax and breathe and everything like that. Because I don't think Triple H is going to be knowing what's right for business. At least not right now. Because you cannot tell me this UK tournament, unless you're super biased to European wrestling, was a huge success. If the network actually showed numbers of how many people actually watch the damn thing, I bet you the numbers wouldn't be that damn high. I don't know. I wish they had numbers and stuff like that. Dan Bones, you ain't a Triple H fan? Oh, you should know I'm a huge Triple H fan, Dan. I'm a huge Triple H fan. I don't know what WWE's doing, Weston. I honestly do not know what WWE's doing at this point, man. Like, they're just doing other stuff, man. Like, they're just doing ridiculous stuff. We lost another pro wrestler today. Jimmy Snuka died. As you guys notice, I did not say RIP or anything like that because I'm under the belief that Jimmy Snuka killed his wife. So fuck him. Hope him and Chris Benoit are having a good time wrestling for the Hell Championship, and hope they get squashed by Randy Savage, who's the WWE Heavyweight Champion right now. WWE needs to cut down on the pay-per-views like the UFC. I agree, Dan Bones. Like, seriously, why are we having 2 brand pay-per-views a month, man? Like, I really thought, like, this was literally what brand split enthusiasts were telling me with the argument, like, of why a brand split's good. They were like, Chase, a brand split's good because now the WWE doesn't have to do a pay-per-view for every show. You can get your longer storylines that you want. Like, someone was trying to argue. No, I said Randy Savage is the WWE Heavyweight Champion, Joe James. Randy Savage just won the belt from Eddie Guerrero at the last Heaven Mania. You know, Eddie Guerrero had a good run with the Heaven Championship, but the Macho Man buried him. Not really buried him, but the Macho Man won. You know, Ultimate Warrior was the Heaven Champion at one point, but, you know, Eddie Guerrero became a 3-time Heaven Champion. This is Savage's second run, and so Hell and God made a deal. And Benoit and Snuka are fighting for the Hell Championship, and then Savage is going to fight that person at Heaven Slam. So, UFC literally only has 2 shows this January. Yeah. Like the WWE, they have 2 brand pay-per-views a month, and it's like, really, why? Why? Like, you gotta freaking separate that. Because I can't watch 2 fucking one Raw exclusive show and 1 SmackDown exclusive show every freaking month. I literally can't. I literally cannot watch this every freaking month. This is just ridiculous. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. Who you're actually? I'm gonna be honest. I don't think I did a review for Roadblock. So obviously I didn't watch it. I mean, really, to be honest with you, who would watch 2 brand shows if you know the brand shows are going to suck? And especially because you know you're going to see the same matches again. I mean, when you look at the Royal Rumble card, when you look at it, it's like, why should I care? It's like Reigns versus Kevin Owens. Seen that before. Cena versus AJ, okay, because they don't really touch that much. But you still have seen it before. It's just, you just don't do it. The reason why I prefer brand extension to extent is I'd rather have a terrible Raw show and a good SC show than just terrible Raws all the time. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Dan Bones. Like, WWE is doing that way too much, and I just don't understand. Like I said before earlier in the stream, I just don't understand how people can just eat, breathe, and live wrestling. I just can't. I have other interests besides like just pro wrestling. Like, I really do. Like, I know a lot of people may think like I just eat, breathe, and live pro wrestling because I have a channel, but I don't. I honestly really, really don't. You know, I like talking about professional wrestling. I think it's a fun medium to talk about. There's a lot of good stuff in professional wrestling, even though it's not really that good as of like 2015. I felt 2015 was really like a hard year of professional wrestling. Like, you know, everyone likes to shit on the year 2016 for wrestling, but I think the year 2015 is what kickstarted this bad year of badness of professional wrestling. I really do. I really say 2015 was that year where it's just like everything kind of started to turn shitty. So I don't really blame 2016 all that much. I always blame 2015. Always do. I just sometimes just don't understand fans. You say 2013. I thought, well, Dan Bones, 2013 was near the end pretty bad. But 2014, like the start of 2014 was actually pretty decent. And then like late 2014 got a little bit better. But I still think 2015 is what hurt wrestling. Explain why SmackDown is better than Raw when they're under the same company. Well, from an entertainment perspective, SmackDown's better. Like, he's not saying it's like WWE. Like, WWE is not better, but if you prefer to watch Raw or SmackDown, it's more SmackDown, you know. Raw is just like I don't know what they do wrong with Raw. They just don't know how to write for any of these fucks on Raw, pretty much, man. Like, they really do not know how to write for Raw. Yeah, the Authority was just a stupid. Like, the Authority, Dan Bones, never made any sense. Like, the authority was like so stupid. There's so many times where it's just like, why doesn't Triple H just go and freaking like just beat up these people? Like, why is Triple H like always like sending Randy Orton to do his work? Triple H and Cena are killing WWE. To some extent too, but I also think, Dan Bones, if you're going to say that, part-timers are also killing WWE, right? If Triple H and Cena are killing WWE, I think guys like Brock Lesnar is killing WWE as well. Guys like The Undertaker are killing WWE, and guys like Goldberg are killing WWE. If you're going to make that type of statement, you have to also go in hard with Lesnar, Goldberg, and Undertaker killing WWE as well. If you're going to make that statement. Because if you're going to make that statement that Triple H and Cena are killing WWE, so are the part-timers. Because Triple H and Cena kind of fall into the part-timer category. And WWE relies on those part-timers to do stuff for them. They really do. You say Undertaker is. What about Lesnar? I think Lesnar's killing WWE. How do you say not Brock? Why? You say Brock is fucking legit, but why? Wouldn't you think that kills WWE because he's too legit? Because they created a monster that they somehow can't have lose unless it's to Goldberg? How's that fucking legit? How's that good? That's killing WWE if you ask me. Oh, since he didn't put over Bray. Yeah, well, he put over Brock, who ended the streak, which hurt a lot of wrestling fans. I mean, really, to be honest, I disagree with your statement that Triple H and Cena are killing WWE because you're not going full in with that Brock and Goldberg are also killing WWE. If you went full in on that part-timers are killing WWE, I'd agree with you. I 100% agree with you. But you're not going full in. You're only going half into the fucking pool. You're not diving right into the deep end and getting to the hard point. Because I really, to be honest, man, I just don't understand how you think Cena and Triple H are killing WWE when they're like really like the few reasons why people even want to watch this fucking company. The last good Raw we had was when Triple H came out and saved that fucking show. Notice how SmackDown has been doing better? It's because people want to see fucking Cena. As much as a lot of people like to put into propaganda and stuff like that, whether you love him or fucking hate him, people will fucking see Cena. You cannot say that Triple H and Cena are killing WWE when they, along with Brock, Undertaker, and Goldberg, those two guys are still people want to see. You think people are fucking watching Raw to see Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns? No, no one gives a fuck. No one gives a fuck about Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. No, I'm not saying Cena is a draw. What I'm saying is that people want to see John Cena still. Cena doesn't draw any fucking money. He just draws interest. There's a difference between drawing interest and drawing fucking money. He draws interest in money. It's like what Conan said. There's more John Cena shirts at the merchandise table than anyone else's shirt. Doesn't mean he's drawing more money than anyone else. He just draws more interest than anyone else. Do you understand that, Dan? That he just draws interest? There's a difference. You can draw interest. Doesn't mean you're drawing money. You can draw plenty of interest. Look at Obama. He drew a lot of interest. Doesn't mean he drew any money for America. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of freaking NFL players that draw interest from people. Look at David Johnson. Look at David Johnson for freaking the NFL, for the Arizona Cardinals. He draws interest from a lot of people, but I don't see David Johnson being a top 10 jersey seller. Yeah, I know, Dan Bones. It's not about interest. It's all about the money. I agree with that statement. But the thing is, Cena still draws interest from fans. Like, fans will still watch as long as Cena's running around doing goofy stuff. Because when Cena leaves, a lot of people will be, like, freaking confused on what the fuck to do and what to talk about. Dan, I want to know, do you have a mic? I want to know if you have a mic, because I'll invite you to this hangout. We can have a fun little discussion. And then I want you to admit that Brock Lesnar is also killing the WWE if you're going to say Triple H and Cena are killing WWE. Because I really want you to admit that Brock is also killing the company as well. Because if you have a microphone, man, I'll bring you on here, man, and we can have a fun little discussion. We can have a fun little discussion on this hangout, and I can just tell you, man, how your statement that you made is not 100% correct until you add Brock and Goldberg to that list. You have Undertaker on there, that's fine. But you got to add Brock and Goldberg. If you don't add Brock and Goldberg, then your statement is false, because Triple H and Cena are part-timers, but yet they're the people that a lot of people want to see more. If you ask the majority of casual wrestling fans who they want to see, they would rather see Triple H and John Cena than a lot of the current wrestlers today. Because a lot of fans would rather see those, especially casuals. The brand is a draw. Yeah, the brand is a draw. WWE is what draws. That's why people go to WrestleMania. Hell, WrestleMania itself. Yeah, Brock and Goldberg made some headlines at Survivor Series. Yeah. But hasn't Cena made headlines before with The Rock at WrestleMania 28? So I just countered that argument with that argument right there. I'm just saying, man, like, I don't understand how you cannot include Brock and Goldberg on that list. You just put in that one point, but Cena has made some headlines before. Triple H has made some headlines before. Cool. Cool, they made headlines. Yeah, but you could also make the argument that Goldberg needed Brock or Brock needed Goldberg for that to work. You're saying Cena needed The Rock. Well, Brock needed Goldberg. Goldberg needed Brock. Do you think anyone would have cared if Goldberg was fighting Roman Reigns? No. You think anyone would care if Lesnar was fighting Seth Rollins? No. They needed each other. Who has Brock buried? Is that what you're looking at? At who have they buried? Because that is not what you need to look at. And if you want to be honest here, Brock has buried some of the younger talent, have not put them over. You can almost argue that, yes, even though Brock has not, yes, legit clean loose to anyone, he still hasn't put over any of these young talents to make them fucking over. He hasn't put over Roman Reigns. He hasn't put over Seth Rollins. Goldberg's not going to put anyone over. So really, to be honest here, you're saying who have they buried? If you look at it, they really haven't helped anyone. And didn't Brock almost bury Bray Wyatt? Brock did not put over Seth at WrestleMania 31. Seth pinned Roman Reigns. He didn't even pin Brock Lesnar. No, dog. He did not put over. Dan Bones, you getting a microphone. You're going to get a microphone, man. We got to have a good discussion about this, man. We got to have a good discussion about that. Because Brock never put over Seth Rollins. He let Roman Reigns take the pity fall. And then later on at Battleground, he didn't even put over Seth either. Undertaker had to come out and fucking beat him up. Brock has only put over one dude, and that's freaking Goldberg. Triple H and Cena. No, he did not put over Seth at all. At all. How are you going to sit here and tell me he put him over? Well, yeah, the roster is full of jobbers. Most of the roster's jobbers. And then guys that they try to make main eventers, they fuck up on. They fuck up on so many guys that could be good time stars for them. Look at the Shield guys. The Shield guys look like those three were legit bona fide main eventers when they were in the Shield. And then afterwards, when you separate them, what the fuck happened? Seth Rollins became a boring piece of shit. Dean Ambrose regressed. Dean Ambrose regressed mightily. And then Reigns, literally, they haven't done anything to make this guy improve. Reigns has improved inside the ring, yes. But they literally don't like improving this guy. They literally don't want to change this guy up for anything. They don't try to change any of these fuckers up inside the Shield. They're still the same Shield wrestlers. Like, seriously, they sabotage these 3 guys to the point where they look like jobbers. Like, for real. When you first saw Seth Rollins, you thought, maybe upper main eventer. Maybe this guy could be some big time. And then when you saw Roman Reigns, you definitely saw a star waiting to happen. And when you saw Dean Ambrose, you thought maybe the best guy out of the group. And now when you look at it, it's like the opposite. Listen, if Brock beat Bray, he would have been on my shit list too. Well, you know what, Dan Bones? When Brock does bury Bray Wyatt, I hope you understand what I've been trying to say to you this whole time, because that's weird that if they beat Bray Wyatt, all of a sudden they're on your shit list. Yeah, Raw's ratings dipped, but that's because like they were losing Stone Cold and The Rock. That's like an NFL team losing their top 2 Hall of Famers. Yeah, the fans' interest is going to be low. You think once the Legion of Boom leaves Seattle that there's going to be all these loud-ass Seahawks fans? You think there's going to be these loud-ass Seahawks fans once the Legion of Boom goes? No. They're all going to be gone. Ain't no more Richard Sherman yelling. I'm just saying, man. Like, that's going to happen. It happens like in any other industry, too. It's not just WWE. When you lose like 2 legit Hall of Fame wrestlers and The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin, yeah, the ratings are going to fucking dip. And then, like, you want to say, like, look at the Raw ratings. They dipped when HH became the focal point of the show. Same with Brock. Brock was the focal point of SmackDown, and motherfucker, it wasn't like the ratings were killing it. They were the same ratings as fucking Raw. So I don't get your point. And around that time, wrestling was becoming like the lame thing to watch in like 2002. It wasn't just like a Triple H's fault. It was like the whole WWF's fault. WWF also changed their name around that point, and they changed it to WWE, thus confusing the audience. People still call it WWF sometimes to this day. Look, Dan Bones, I like that you're arguing because most people in my chat don't argue with me. It's great. I love it and all. I love it. I really do. I have nothing against you. We're just debating professional wrestling. So don't take offense to it. It's just pro wrestling. I know you don't take offense to it, but Dan Bones, when you deal with a lot of wrestling fans, a lot of them are sensitive as fuck. A lot of wrestling fans are sensitive as fuck when it comes to pro wrestling. I don't understand. They just are. I know you're not that type of person. I know you're just looking for a good, friendly debate, which is great. But a lot of people are sensitive when it comes to fucking wrestling. Don't understand it. Just don't. It's just wrestling, guys. It's not the end of the world. Your house isn't on fire. I'm just saying. Your house isn't on fire. So you'll take Brock over Cena / Triple H any day? Okay, that's fine. WO. Because of WCW. Yeah, like people, yeah, like Alexander, you got people still call it fucking WWF, man. How many people do you know? Like, when you ask people about wrestling, like, just in general, just like, unless someone is a wrestling fan now, in general, when you ask someone, like, oh, yeah, do you watch wrestling or do you know wrestling? What are they going to say? Oh, yeah, WWF? Unless they were born, like, after 98, I would say, that's like a safe age. Unless someone was born after 1998, there's no way in hell these motherfuckers do not call it WWF. People still call it WWF to this very day. Hell, how many times have you guys seen it in my videos where I slipped and called it WWF? How many times have you seen it where I've called it WWF and I said, hey, look, this WWF? I mean, you confuse your audience. Yeah, people are used to the product being WWF, and now you're changing it to WWE. And not only that, when you lose your name to a fucking panda organization, the World Wildlife Foundation, you're supposed to be the WWF. You're supposed to bring attitude. You're supposed to be the cream of the crop of sports and entertainment, damn it. And you're telling me you're afraid of fucking the World Wildlife Foundation? That you can't stand up to the World Wildlife Foundation and tell these motherfuckers, no, fuck you, we're the WWF? You guys bring the attitude. You guys have it on TV where your top guy comes out with beers in his hand, stuttering the boss, flipping people off, and drinking those beers on TV. And you're telling me that you guys are afraid to challenge for your name, for the WWF name, for the World Wrestling Federation. But that's what you need. That's what you're telling me. Yeah, a company that does all this crazy shit, has people jumping, getting set on fire, having sex with dead people and stuff like that. They're afraid of fucking animals. Pandas. The World Wildlife Foundation. Fuck that. I feel like, yeah, WWE going, the whole WWE going public is another thing that just goes bad. We need over-the-top storylines in wrestling. I don't want to see these juiced up 240-pound guys trying to do fake jiu-jitsu. Yeah. There's no storylines, Dan Bones. That's the problem, too. There's never any good stories, man. Literally, when they try to do a good story, it's all the same shit anyways, too. Oh, look at this guy. He's the underdog. Oh, I feel bad for him. He's the underdog. He has all the odds stacked against him. It's the same fucking story for years. Like, oh, man, feel bad for the underdog. Why? What? Do I feel bad for the Cleveland Browns for sucking? No. If someone sucks, they suck. So I shouldn't always feel bad for the underdog. I shouldn't have to always feel like, oh, I got to pay attention to what the underdog's doing. They don't do storylines anymore that are interesting. They don't do anything with their characters that are interesting. They literally, it's sad when the most interesting characters are always joke characters. Where it's like, oh yeah, this guy's funny. I like this guy. Seriously, if that's the case in today's wrestling, how come Santino Marella wasn't like world champion by now? Just being serious here. Why? How come Santino never won the world title? This motherfucker should have been a world champion. Should have been a world champion. But he never did. All the characters are boring. Tell me a character that's good in WWE. Please tell me. You can tell me a wrestler that's good. Yeah, there's a lot of good wrestlers in the company. But there's not good characters. None of these characters are good. There's plenty of these good wrestlers. Yeah, AJ Styles, good wrestler. It's funny how so many WWE fans hate stories like Katie Vick, Vince blowing up, Vince versus God, but it's because of those fans why WWE is boring today. Okay, I loved Vince blowing up in the fucking... I'm being dead honest here. I loved Vince blowing up in the limousine. Like, seriously, I loved Vince blowing up in the limousine. I ain't bullshitting when I say that. That was one of my favorite arcs. I want to know who did it. I was so stoked, man. You know that 3-hour Raw that was going to happen after Night of Champions? Or, yeah, after Night of Champions. I was so stoked, man. Like, I even watched Night of Champions. I was like, I kind of knew what was going to happen. But I was so stoked because I want to know who was going to blow up, who blew up Vince. I want to know. And then all of a sudden, fucking Vince McMahon is in the middle of the ring, and he has to announce that Benoit died and his family died. And I was like, why? Like, oh, I wanted to know, man. I really wanted to know. But yeah, you know, they need storylines like that. Over-the-top storylines that build characters, make you interested in watching the fucking product. Because people were watching. They want to know, did Vince really die? Who killed Vince? Yeah, Mr. Kennedy. Oh, yeah. Mr. Kennedy being the illegitimate child. Oh, that storyline was fun, too. Yeah, Bray Wyatt could be a good character. Bray Wyatt could be a good character, but you know his character can only go. The problem is they always like to kill his character because all they do with Bray Wyatt instead of making him a monster. Because like with Kane, like people forget, Kane got over because when Kane would come out, he would destroy fools. It wasn't like Kane was just like coming out like, Undertaker ain't going to kill you for burning my house down. No, it was like literally like Bray Wyatt. They love ruining this guy because all Bray Wyatt does is like, you guys are afraid of me. Let me cut a long promo where I talk for ages and stuff like that. Oh yeah, Rikishi, he did it for me. Oh, he did it for you, Chase. Yeah, Rikishi. Oh God, no, like seriously, when you look at some of the stupid storylines that WWE used to do back in the day, they worked. Oh, remember how Venus getting his dick chopped off by Kai? Oh, please, you cannot tell me. WWE fans don't like storylines like that because it's offensive. How's that offensive? But anytime you call wrestling fake, they compare it to TVs and movies. But when I watch TVs and movies, I expect over-the-top bullshit. Yeah. Because literally, are you going to Triple X to expect some fucking, like Triple X is coming out this weekend, to see some normal shit? No, you're expecting some over-the-top bullshit. It has Vin Diesel, it has Samuel L. Jackson. Yeah, I expect some over-the-top bullshit. I'm not going to Triple X to expect it to be a boring, serious movie. Same with fucking Split that's coming out this weekend. I'm expecting some creepy M. Night Shyamalan shit. You can't compare wrestling to TV and movies when wrestling looks like it's just trying to be a sport nowadays. That's all wrestling looks like it's going to is wrestling being a sport. But it's not a sport, but they're treating it like a sport, but nothing about this seems like a sport. You know? Not a sport. So why are you acting like it's a fucking sport? Give us good storylines. Give us storylines. I'm not talking about like storylines that are goofy. Not these like goofy, like Miz gets punked out by some fucking kid from Nickelodeon storylines. I'm talking about like good storylines. Well, wrestling's a TV show, Dan Bones. That's what it is at the end of the day. Wrestling's a TV show at the end of the day. Look at what Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy are doing. That's some TV show shit. Oh, yeah, fake Donald and fake Rosie O'Donnell. Oh, God, that was fucking interesting. That was definitely interesting. The fans were chanting like TNA during that match, too. Oh, God. Oh, God damn. Wrestling. Can't get enough of it. Really can't. But yeah, like there's no good storylines in today's wrestling. If there was storylines in today's wrestling, it'd be so much better. Like actual stories too, not just I want to beat you up and you want to beat me up. So let's do it. No, actual storylines that make you fucking like and hate a person. Vince has more charisma than anyone on the fucking roster. It's not even close, Dan Bones. For real. Anyways, guys, this is where I have to bid adieu. I do have some stuff that I got to take care of today and everything like that. I want to thank you guys all for coming into this stream. It's been a fun one. The next wrestling stream will probably happen Wednesday. It just depends on my schedule. But just know if you guys really want to watch me on the wrestling streams and me talking about wrestling, it's most likely going to happen. Like Wednesdays afternoons / nights, just depends on how I'm feeling. I'd like to thank Dan Bones for actually debating and having a good spirited debate. Good on you, Dan Bones. I'd like to thank everyone else who showed up as well. If you guys are watching this video, the playback, hit that comment down below anything that you heard in this video that you want to talk about. Give this video a big old thumbs up. If you guys liked what you saw, follow me on Twitter at ChaseOliver68. And make sure you guys hit that bell, that YouTube bell, so that way you guys get updated when I do the streams and everything like that. I'll be back for an NFL stream later this week. You know, those don't really do so well. But if you guys are NFL fans, come watch that. But yeah, the next wrestling stream, I don't know when it's going to happen. But thank you all for tuning in and watching. Have yourself a good one.